On the island of Sodor, high up in the mountains was a mysterious boulder. It had stood alone for a long time, but one day workmen arrived to build a quarry on the land below. Rusty, the little diesel, met Thomas and Percy.
Well, I gotta say a couple things. First, this is one massive boulder. Second, it's one perfectly shaped boulder. And third, that intro music is not setting a good tone. It's already giving bad vibes. Rusty felt this himself, believing the boulder was watching him. And being that the title mentions the boulder, it's not a good foreshadow. Things, though, were underway at this new quarry as Edward brought a new addition to the site.
"What's that?" asked Rusty. "It's called Thumper. Apparently it helps collect the rock faster," replied Edward. Soon Thumper was working hard. The men were pleased, but no one bothered to check the boulder.
Thumper, huh? What is this, a reference to the bunny character from Bambi? He hasn't even said anything yet, so I'm not buying into him being a credible character. I mean, even though Butch the tow truck hasn't said anything since his introduction, he's at least had more cameos than this guy. Either way, though, the boulder was not making Rusty any more comfortable.
Driver was concerned. "We'd best leave till the weather's better. The rain loosened some of this rock." "I think it's Boulder wanting us to go away."
Okay, what's with Rusty's face? I may have addressed this already, and I know the reason why, but can we just be consistent with Rusty's face? Seeing it go from relatively mid-sized to oversized is beginning to annoy me. But Boulder would be the one to get even more annoyed as the next day came and everyone kept working below it.
"Boulder's moving." "Don't be so daft. It can't," said the driver. "But it could." "It's rolling along our line."
Well, with that fall, I'm sure Thumper and the rest of the workmen at the site are dead. I'm not the only one who heard that dense thud made by Boulder, right? Yeah, no one survived that. And that's never a good thing when you make a sentient boulder mad with the face of a standard gauge express engine. Or at least that's what it seems like. Especially when the boulder can magically change direction.
"Oh no! It's behind us!" Just ahead, they saw a small junction. One line went uphill. Boulder thundered past. Meanwhile, Skarloey was making his way up to the quarry. Then he saw Boulder.
Okay, I'm going to assume the elevation at which Rusty was at was higher than where Skarloey is, because it's highly improbable that Boulder rolled up a hill just to go down one. But Boulder was certainly not stopping for anyone. He ran on for miles and miles, of which he even gave Rheneas a chance to say a line for once.
His driver drove him back as fast as he could. "Hurry!" Better a smash than a squash.
Ouch. That sounded like a solid beating Rheneas just got. Anyone else think he could have used the magic set of buffers? If I were him, I would have taken it. I just don't get how this boulder hasn't slowed down yet. I get that there's a lot of mass, and when large masses gain momentum, it's hard to stop it. But this is ridiculous. Even more ridiculous was the next catastrophe when Boulder came to the sheds.
"Oh no, heading straight for me," squeaked Percy.
Let this be known in Thomas and Friends history that Britt Allcroft actually hired Michael Bay to direct one episode. This is the most explosive action ever put to the show. And I'm sure Percy is quite thankful he was on that sighting. After all, he is a little green goblin on wheels, which means he's difficult to get a hold of. Oh well, because once Top Hat saw the damage, guess what he did?
He decided to close the mine. Then he looked at Boulder. "We should have left this part of the island alone." They moved Boulder to a hill close by the yards. Rusty is sure that on a clear night it is gazing up at the mountain and that its sides are being carried on the wind to where it once used to stand proud and silent. I wonder if Rusty is right. Don't you?
I don't know. All I have to say is, what is with Rusty having these strange occurrences happening with him this season? First ghost engine stories, now sentient boulders coming after his cab. Rusty, you gotta knock off this mystery bullcrap that seems to always come your way. But for real, this was an entertaining episode just for the reason of how things played out. However, it wasn't the best in its reasoning, though. Nothing is given an explanation as to what on earth possessed the boulder and why it has the face of Gordon. Nor is anything explained as to how this perfectly shaped rock defied physics and nature. Plus, we got a new character by the name of Thumper, who we know nothing about because of how much he was given to say. Which was nothing. Sounds like a Bertram case if you ask me. Mind you, he doesn't even collect rock faster. He just breaks it faster. Aside from this, though, the mystery surrounding the boulder was intriguing, and the amount of action put into this entry was intense. Especially the end, that comes off rather Michael Bay-ish, even though he had no involvement whatsoever in this production. But seriously, look at that explosion! And the fire! When it came to the music, that was also different, because no incidental music, no outro or intro music, and no character motifs or themes were played. The episode consistently had the Boulder theme, which was great, and it was surprising that no other cues were used. As for locations, we got one new place and two old. The new area was the Echo Pass ravine, where Skarloey got chased down by Boulder. The other two spots we have seen already was Verneas' viaduct, where Boulder practically ran Verneas off at warp speed, and the Boulder Quarry where Boulder sat, and the sheds that Boulder destroyed in his fiery rage. What a blast, literally. Next episode is Snow. Thanks for watching.